Hello once again and welcome to another edition of the I'm Always Right Sports Podcast. I am your host as always, the Mouth of Michigan, Robin Dyka. With me, as always, the Merc Zone, Mike Merkel.
Right here.
And the resident NBA insider, the man, Kyle Budzanowski.
I'm over here.
How we doing, fellas?
Good.
Doing good? All right, guys. We have so much to go over. Michigan loses a coach. The Cavs game one and Jon Beilien. We're all devastated. The conference finals, we're talking about how the Warriors look extra good since we talked about them last. They must have heard our last podcast. I know, right? We're going to be talking some NBA lottery and how flawed it is. We're going to be talking some AEW officially on TNT, which is, if you're a wrestling fan, huge news. And of course, we're talking some Matty P comments on Good Morning Football from this past week. Lots of stuff to go over, guys. It's a heavy basketball topic this week just because of everything that's going on. But I want to talk right at the top of it. Jon Beilien, the new head coach of the Cleveland Cavaliers, former Michigan coach, the winningest coach in Michigan basketball history, right? I mean, even if he wasn't, I think we could say that and people would be like, oh yeah, totally, it makes sense, right? Most successful coach, obviously. He's, several Final Four appearances, a couple national championship games, a few Big Ten title wins, Big Ten title tournament victories as well. Just overall, Mike, I'm going to start with you. Thoughts on Jon Beilien leaving?
I was absolutely devastated when he left.
I know you texted me. You're like, "What is going on?"
Yeah. Well, I from what I knew, there was no sense of him leaving at all.
Right.
And then Larry goes, "Oh, 5-year, $130 million contract, Beeline to go to the Cavs." I said, "Oh, okay, that's cool. I guess
that sucks,
now we gotta go find somebody else. That's awesome."
Yeah.
But it's a big hit for Michigan. I'm very nervous now because we also lost a lot of people.
Yes.
And a lot of people are now decommitting from Michigan.
Which is expected.
Yeah,
right.
like if you lost John Harbaugh, people are not going to go into Michigan as frequently as
of course.
If he was there. But that really scares me now that we lost 4 guys going into the draft this year that were starters, and now you lose Beilien, so now you're losing these top 4 or 5-star recruits that you're supposed to be getting in because he was there.
Yeah.
So it kind of has me worried for the future, unless we get a certain coach.
Yeah. Hold on that for a second. We'll hit on that in a second. Kyle, give me your instant thoughts. You get the notification on your phone. JB's leaving. I mean, are you like me where I just went, oh, son of a, you know what I mean? Like the best coach that Michigan has, and he's gone. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was sitting in my algebra class, and I got a Twitter notification.
Clearly focusing hard on his studies.
Yeah.
And Master scholar over here. He's really hoping this podcast pans out.
Yes. We are hoping for the best. But I was in my math class, and I see that Woj says, as Michael said, the Beeline to the Cavs for however many million, 5 years, and I'm like, no way, this isn't real. This can't be real. This can't be real. I'm like, no way.
It's the fake Woj account.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, and my friend, he sits next to me. He's Michigan basketball too. He's like, no way, it's real. It's fake. But then I get more alerts than it's on
Everybody just keeps reporting and reporting.
Sports Center. And I'm like, oh my god, this is real. This can't be possibly real.
What sucks is he's going to the Cavs too. You know what I mean? Like if you want to think, if I'm like, all right, he went to go coach the Lakers. All right, he's got LeBron. Maybe he's going to have some pretty good success, right? Like that would be a guy where you go, okay, now LeBron's got like a legit coach. No, he's gone to the Cavs, and the Cavs suck. So it's like, that's I guess my next question is, can he be successful in Cleveland? Because to me, that team, if they would have won the number 1 pick, which is apparently one of the reasons why he went and he thought it was a good opportunity, right? Is he's like, we have the possibility of getting the number 1 pick and everything else. They're not, but. I mean, can he be successful in Cleveland? He's a hell of a coach, right? He's known for his offensive prowess and everything else like that, but I think even his defensive skill, the defense for Michigan's always been good. I don't know how necessarily successful he's going to be able to be just because of where he's going. Not so much as a reflection of him as a coach, but more Cleveland's a dumpster fire. You know what I mean? Mike, give me your take.
I mean, you're not wrong with that. However, I almost look at him coaching as Brad Stevens was when he was in college going into the pros.
Right.
Where he can take... Brad Stevens is a better coach with less talent.
Right.
As you saw 2 years ago.
For sure.
When Kyrie Irving wasn't there and you had guys like Terry Rozier and the rookies and Tatum and Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown.
Right.
They were excelling expectations and then getting to the conference finals, losing in 7 to inevitably LeBron James and that's when they went to the finals.
Yeah.
And I think...
Don't bother the noise, guys. We just got weather coming in, so it's okay. It's not us, I promise.
If a house just disappears.
Yeah, exactly. If you hear a hard cut and this somehow still makes air, just know that Kyle's probably gone, but the rest of us are okay.
They say it. I flew.
Okay, yeah.
But anyway, as you're saying,
So Steven does a good job with building up his talent. That's not as good. I think Beilien does the same. When you looked at all these Michigan teams, they never had the Zions or the RJ Barretts or all the like Kyries and Duke and stuff. But they always could make things work with like their Xavier Simpsons,
right?
And
Exactly.
Ignis Brazingis and stuff.
Taking guys that necessarily people may not look at as top tier talent and putting them into the rotation and putting them in a position to succeed, right? I mean,
so then when you look at this catch, you got Colin Sexton, you got C.D. Osman, and you got some of these younger guys that are still developing. I think Beilien can do a good job in developing.
And you have a stretch guy like Love too, right?
Exactly.
Like you look at it, they've always had that stretch big who can shoot the three.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So with all of that being said, especially after their draft and stuff, because they are picking in the top 5, which is a good place to be.
You're gonna get a potential starter. Yeah.
So I mean, I think it could be a fit for how he coaches, just like Brad Stevens was with Celtics. But at the other hand, it is a dumpster fire there, and they haven't literally done anything except when LeBron's there.
Right.
So
I think you make a great point. I think
if
you're a Cleveland fan, you're extremely optimistic, right? Because he's a guy who's fundamentally based, right? He's going to be well liked by the community. He's a hell of a coach, hell of a personality. I mean, Kyle, do you think that is he going to have any sort of modicum of success there, or is he going to? Are we going to see trouble year 1, year 2, year 3? Just because. Even if they hit on this draft pick, right? Yeah. People still aren't sold on Sexton, right? Kevin Love's only getting older and more fragile, as we've seen. So there's not a ton of other, Nick Stauskas, he's going to get some re-sign cut, you know what I mean? So is Beilien going to have some modicum of success there, or is this going to be one of those things where he's making this jump because it's his probably his last chance to do it, right? He's in his mid-60s. And he's just going to ride this out, or is he going to be like a Brad Stevens and really turn the Cavs team around?
I could see them turning it around, but I honestly believe that it probably won't go anywhere. I feel like the organization in general is like a dumpster fire, and I don't really see how they can really. I mean, unless you get something crazy where you can maybe like whoever you draft is like the next LeBron, it turns out to be some whack. I just can't see anything like that going on, and I kind of hate to see it because at least if you stay at Michigan, you're going to have maybe a Final Four run, something like that. You had a promising team with these top recruits, and now they're gone. But I just really can't see them doing it.
I think a reason why he's leaving is due to the college game and how it's set up, right? These one and dones, it's impossible to make a basketball team, right? So every year you're constantly having to reshuffle, reload, and have a new starting lineup every year. Like the year they went to the final, not this most recent time, but the time before that, where they had guys. Trey Burke was there for a really long time. Hardaway was there for a couple of years. You had guys that you could develop and you've seen grow within the system, whereas now, like Iggy should not be going to the draft. He really shouldn't. I mean, first half of the year, but he's probably gone. Second half of the year, he should probably stay for a sophomore season.
I don't get why Jordan Poole's leaving.
Exactly, that's my point though, right? And to Beilien's point, it's like, all right, well, these guys are going to leave, even though they're not ready. They're going to go anyway. What am I doing here, right? It's impossible. I'm never going to be able to recruit like Duke does. I'm never going to be able to get the guys like Roy Williams does at UNC. So why not make that jump? Something that none of those guys have done, right? And say, maybe I can actually develop a team. You know what I mean? And have that chance. What's next for Michigan, right? Who is your ideal candidate? Give me one name, okay? Give me one name that you want to see come in here, because I like the way that Michigan is approaching this coaching search, right? I want somebody who's been a head coach before, and I want to get the right guy, right? I want to get the right guy. They're not going to go in and promote an assistant, right? They're going to go, I think they're looking top shelf tier talent here as far as coaching goes. Who is the number one guy on your list if you're calling right now? Who do I call? Anywhere. I don't care if he's a high school coach. I don't care if he's college, pros. Who are you going for?
My number one guy, and this might shock people, but I think from the NBA experience that he brings, Billy Donovan.
Oh, no, that's not. Yeah, I'm right on with you.
I think it would be perfect, especially because now as OKC, they're kind of in that stagnant mode where I think
they're not getting any better.
They're not going to get any better. Nope. So I feel like there's a very good chance that sometime you might see he gets released because he's not getting him over the edge. It's been 3 playoffs, 3 first-round exits.
Right.
Now he needs to go back. He can go to one of the top 10 coaching basketball coaches.
Exactly. This place is the place to be, no doubt. For sure.
And bringing all that NBA experience, now you're going almost down a level.
Right.
Just like enhance it. Like, it's like Harbaugh going from NFL, then you go into college football. It's almost like it's a little harder because now you're recruiting instead of drafting and stuff.
Yes.
But at the same time, it's like less schedule, less workload.
Right.
And you had that pro experience, which is a lot tougher to learn. Now you can like go down a level almost.
For sure.
So I love Billy Donovan there.
All right, Kyle, same question. Who is your dream scenario to come in to coach Michigan basketball?
I was gonna say the exact same thing. I looked at Michael. He probably knew. But I was gonna
I
say
kind
the
of had a
exact
feeling,
same thing,
but yeah.
It's and like Michael said, it's a real you have the NBA coach and down to the college basketball. I can't talk. But it would really help Michigan with the NBA experience, and even though he's not doing anything with OKC, it's not looking like it's going to work out because what will most likely happen, they'll probably hire someone from within the like the actual organization. But looking outside I even like Brad Stevens. I even love Brad Stevens.
Brad Stevens, good lord.
I know.
Jeez, there's a chance because all Boston sports are going to win a championship except the Celtics this year.
Talk about me falling out of my chair. Good lord. If Brad Stevens came. But to your point with Billy Donovan, right? The coaching experience, but I think a lot of people are forgetting too. He won 2 national championships at Florida.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, he did it with Joakim Noah as the star player. Okay, let's just let that breathe for a second.
You guys don't like Joakim Noah?
Joakim Noah.
He was a beast in college.
Okay. Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, it's Greg Oden. Okay, like that. Those are some sweet battles that never happened after. But the point being is that I do like that. I think another guy too who is kind of under the radar for some people because he hasn't had the success that people thought he would is Shaka Smart from Texas. He's a guy where I look at him and I look at his style of coaching and their style of play. The amoeba defense that they run where it's like a havoc, they're full court press all the time. They smother teams, right?
Yeah.
I think that's a guy where you come in and if you give him the resources and allow him, he's at a place too in Texas where football is king. Right, just like Michigan is, right, where you're understanding your place within the hierarchy that football takes precedent no matter what. But a guy like him, the fact that he put a good product on the court for VCU, I know that the results necessarily haven't been there for Texas, but with the ability to recruit, he's a very good recruiter still, and the opportunity to kind of change because if you can play good defense in the Big Ten, right, you have a chance, right? So being able to have the best defense and to really put pressure on teams consistently, I love the way they do that. So I think that's a guy too that within the college ranks that you could really take a look at and be on there. All right, let's shift now from Jon Beilien and the Cavs and a team that's a dumpster fire. Let's shift to teams now that are playing for championships. I want to talk about the Warriors and the Bucks for a second because I think we both know that both these series are pretty much done, right? Like it's going to be the Warriors. It's going to, as of this recording, it's 3-0, 2-0. It's nothing's happening. So, but in your opinion, right? Just give me this. Is it the Warriors or is it the Bucks? Which is the team to beat right now? Because Warriors look good. We're going to talk about the Curry-Durant situation in a second. But which is the team to beat? Because right now, I mean, you look at the Warriors as they're playing. They've never played better this entire playoff. But the Bucks, it's not like they haven't played better because they've already been playing up here forever. So
okay, I look at it in a sense. I think the Bucks are the team to beat. If you want to answer your question.
Okay.
When you look at how the Warriors play, to me personally, would not suit well for the Bucks, meaning that the Bucks have such an advantage. Right. And the only reason I say that is your first half, it looks like the Warriors don't care.
Yeah, no, they're just kind of up and down the court.
Like they play
cool. Right.
Houston, they would always be down or be tied or something at halftime. Portland, the last 2 games have been down 15 and 20 points at halftime. And, it's just Portland, so you're able to shoot your way back. If you're playing the Bucks, and the Pistons learned this firsthand, if you're down 15 at halftime to the Bucks aren't going to be like, all right, I'll just
keeps growing.
Bucks just
3,
grow it.
4, 5, right.
And then eventually it hits a 30, 35 point lead. Right. And then that's something that the Warriors, even if you want to kick it and have a 60-point quarter, you're not gonna beat out the Bucks.
Yeah, because their offensive productivity never changes, no matter who's on the court, whether Giannis is there or not. That's the difference.
And that's one thing where, as in when you have it's almost like the LeBron effect where he goes out and it's an 8-point swing. When Giannis goes out, they actually, I think he has a minus right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Because when he leaves, they actually increase their lead, and then he goes back, and then it keeps growing. Right. But so I think the Bucks are the team to beat.
Right.
At how the Warriors are playing currently right now.
Kyle, same question, man. The Warriors looking really, really good right now, but to Mike's point, right, the Bucks have not ever wavered, even a little bit. Even that first loss to Boston, right, they came back and beat the living dog crap out of Boston those next 4 games. So are you kind of in the same boat, or you think, well, the Warriors are the champs? They're showing why they're the champs without Durant, without Boogie. I mean, it's a coin flip.
Yeah, with the Warriors, my problem is when Kevin, because they're playing so well without Kevin Durant and Boogie Cousins. So I feel like eventually when Kevin Durant would come back, like in the finals against Milwaukee, like is there going to be some sort of conflict? Like the Warriors are playing so well without him, and he comes back and they start playing like less as well, and that's when the media starts talking about it. That's when it starts getting in their heads, and they lose to Milwaukee. That's when you have a situation where like Kevin Durant and Klay Thompson are going to leave because you have this internal conflict, and I feel like while Milwaukee, they're just all around great, and they don't have that conflict.
So you're saying Milwaukee is definitely the team right now.
They're just structurally a lot better.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and that's the thing too. And let's just kind of shift right to it. I'm in agreement with you guys, right? I think Milwaukee, just because the consistency and the offensive efficiency is the part that kills me, where their starters are on the bench. And they're still productive, and they're still putting
even
up
if
points.
even if they're not like beating the team.
No, they're maintaining. Exactly. It's just like they're just coasting. It's like, all right, we can hold the lead at 7 until you guys come
for
back.
For like 3 minutes, and then you guys come back.
It's just it's extremely impressive. And Toronto's deep too on their bench, so it's like I look at some of their guys they coming off. And I'm like, all right, that should be. They can't close any ground whatsoever. It's incredible, but I mean. To your point, Kyle, right? There's some stuff percolating in Golden State, right? Where they haven't played better than right now, and Durant's out, right? Yep. Now, I don't subscribe to the theory that they are quote unquote better without Durant. Durant is a premier scorer. He is probably the second best player in the game right now. I don't care what you say, he's not better than LeBron James. So, with that being said, I know Mike like that. I mean, it's just not. I mean, let's be real. But anyway,
I actually think there's someone maybe better. But
different topic. But anyway, so with that being said, they are playing better though right now. They're not a better team, right? But they do play differently. So are they benefiting from the fact that Durant's out so they can go back and play this high fly, like boom, 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 go back and forth?
I personally think Steph and Klay are the two best. So I think two of the best guards ever.
For sure.
Like
absolutely, no doubt.
When they're playing alone, it's like free ball, and they're so okay with taking these deep shots, and they're super consistent. I think the problem that KD brings, and it wasn't shown the first year, and you had signs of it the second year, and now you're really seeing it this year, is the second he gets it, it's iso ball.
Yes.
It's like if
absolutely.
And my problem
is it stops.
And it's almost like if James Harden went there, they had the exact same problem. Was the ball's going around, Steph's running around the court, and then KD touches it, and then he holds it for 15 seconds and then shoots it.
Right.
And instead, what he should be doing is Steph comes around a screen and you just pass it right back to Steph and he shoots the shot.
Yes, exactly.
I think KD holds a little bit of, he's kind of almost a ball hog, that like he gets the triple-double stat.
Right, for sure.
But it's one of those triple-double stats that are like, is it really impacting? Because he's getting 42 points and he shoots like 30 shots a game. But realistically, Steph Curry should be doing that, I feel like.
Right, oh, for sure. I'm totally agree with you. And as you're saying, the flow stops when Durant is on the floor, right? Not taking anything from Durant. And I think they've even come out and said, it's hard not to just defer to Durant and just go, all right, go for it. You know what I mean? And I think
it would be almost perfect if you could... And I know this would never happen if KD almost came off the bench or play with the role players more.
Yeah, because you have a go-to guy.
Yeah, because then if you take Steph and Klay out and just throw KD out there for 4 minutes, and he literally does it all himself for those 4 minutes, and then they come back and then
I'm gonna give a quick shout out to Draymond Green. I give that man a lot of flack on this show, but he is playing out of his mind right now. I don't think it's gonna last, but I just saw an article today where it's like Draymond's the most important warrior. I went, all right, calm it down. Okay, he's had a good series. I
think there's it's like a quarter right, I would say. Where, like, I think without him, like, you need that one defensive... You need that one, like, hard guy that, like, will get in a fight with somebody. Like Dennis Rodman was and stuff like that. You need that one guy who's going to get gritty with people. Yeah. And that's his role.
No doubt. Offensively, just frustrates me.
No, he can only pass.
God, Lord. All right, Kyle, same question to you, though, right? I mean, what is this? Give me your take on how the Warriors are going to balance this going into the finals. Because, like I said, the flow stops, right? The energy, I think, is different with him out there, right? I mean, they're more dangerous theoretically, right, with him out there. No doubt about it, right? We kind of know he's probably gone, right? He's probably going to New York. And if I'm the Warriors, I'm re-signing Klay Thompson the minute after we win a championship if they do. You know what I mean? Yeah. So with that being said, I mean, do you think it's one of those things where do you think they're just kind of like holding off on Durant, saying, you know what, you just rest up. We're clearly playing okay. Or is he going to be a tipping point for them going forward against Milwaukee? More than likely.
When he comes back, if you learn how to have this rotation where he can come in when Curry's out and you kind of balance that, I could see how that could push them like past Milwaukee. But if you're sitting at a perspective of Steph Curry, I'm scoring like 35 a game, 35, 8 and 8 a game. I'm doing all this crazy stuff. We're winning out of our minds. We're killing Portland. It's all easy. And then you're gonna have Kevin Durant come back in the finals, and it might just mess everything up. Mm-hmm. You're fine with him not being in because everything is going great for you. You specifically are looking fantastic. You probably will be the Finals MVP if you don't play, and the team overall is going to win a Finals. So if he's injured, why rush him back?
Do you think now that you mentioned this whole like him coming off the bench thing, is it the craziest idea in the world because he's technically hurt? Like if Steve Kerr goes, listen, man, you're only at 95%. You don't need to start. You don't need to play 35 minutes. It's okay, man. You can play 24. And still be effective and put up 25. You know what I mean? Like it's never gonna happen, like you said. But it's a totally easy buy-in if you're like he's hurt still. Yeah. He's playing out. He's grinding out for us.
The whole situation of that is Curry and Clay can only play like 32 minutes a game then, which helps them get through the finals. Exactly. If he's just coming in off the bench for them. I mean, it really helps them, I feel like.
Yeah.
However,
they're not going to do that, obviously, but it's something extremely interesting. Like I said, I'm really excited for when he leaves and goes to New York or wherever he does and everything, because that's going to change, I think, the landscape a little bit of the league,
I think if he went to New York on a hot take, they don't win anything.
No, they don't. That's another story, but spoiler alert, they ain't winning crap. But that's another thing. What did OKC win? I'm still waiting. So, I'm just throwing that out there.
To OKC.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. And then get rid of Westbrook. But it's fine. But all right, that's going to be it for part 1 of this episode. On the way after the break, we're talking NBA lottery and how much I hate it. We're going to talk AEW officially on TNT, and we got some Matt Patricia comments on Good Morning Football on NFL Network. All that plus some great stuff coming your way. Stick around after the break. Hey guys, this is the Mouth of Michigan, Rob Mendyka from the I'm Always Right Sports Podcast. Just reminding you that we are live every single Monday at 7 in the morning on your favorite streaming services. All 5 major sports, football, basketball, baseball, hockey, and professional wrestling. I'm Always Right Sports Podcast every Monday, 7 a.m. See you there. Okay, welcome back to part 2. Let's jump right into it. More basketball talk for you guys. I know heavy basketball today. All right, let's talk the NBA lottery. All right, Pelicans win the first pick. All right. We're going to get into how this is all stupid in a second, but does the bigger question is not, these are not going to change this, right? But there is some incentive. Does this end tanking for the NBA? Because a couple people came out and basically said this is going to end tanking because the Pelicans had no reason to even win this pick, right? It should have been the Knicks or Cleveland or whoever had the 15% chance or however they do it, right? Right, the Suns, the other one, right? So, and the Pelicans get it.
Yes. So close. The Lakers are so close.
I know, right?
1% chance.
Yeah, exactly. So devastating.
I screamed. Right? Okay, wait. Do you know how it works?
Yeah, apparently.
Did you watch it?
No, I saw it after the fact.
Okay, because they went they announced like 14, 13, 12, 11, and then after 11 they're like, Lakers are guaranteed a top 4 pick, and I said, yes. How?
Right.
And I didn't.
There's that, and the only reason why the Pelicans weren't is because Atlanta somehow had a bad record.
And then like Memphis and Pelicans got it right after 9.
Yeah, exactly. And this is my freaking point though, right? The fact that we as sports fans and people who do this and look at this and have to cover this stuff for the purpose of this show still don't understand what the hell's going on, that should be a sign to the NBA to change your damn format. Okay? But to the point, though, and I understand why they don't, because they have really no incentive to do it. But more so, does this end tanking, though, for teams like the Knicks? Because the Knicks did, right? The Knicks went, wow, we're really freaking terrible, and we want Zion. So,
is the problem that they're... I know people come out and say that we're tanking, but is it that they're tanking, or are they just really bad? Like, I think that's something you have to look into.
I think if you're the league... Right? I think the league hates the fact that you're tanking. That's why they put those rules in to not sit your superstars.
Because, say the NFL, if they started a lottery thing, what if you're like the Lions and you go 0-16, but you just suck? Like, you're just not a good team.
Right.
Like, you're not trying to lose. You just cannot win a game.
But that's all the reason why. I don't think that's the... I think when you're...
That's fine.
I think the problem is that in the NBA, too, you do suck. But I don't think... I think in football it's a little bit different because you only have 16 chances. right?
Yeah, sure.
I think in the NBA, you got 82 and you win 12. 12? Come on. Like, there's teams that are around you who are just as bad. You can only win 12. If they won like 25, I'd be like, okay, yeah, you're just really, really bad, right? But 12, you know, like the 76ers win 7 or something like, you know, something stupid where it was like
9.
You know what I mean?
They went 9-73 because then it was flipped.
Right, exactly. I was like, come on, like for real, you know what I mean? So I think that if you're the league and you're the commissioner, you're going, all right, this is stupid. This sucks for the league. It sucks for the game. Where at least then, if you change this, right? If you're gonna suck, you're gonna suck. But at least then you have, you know, people going to bad teams like you do in the NFL, or at least it kind of injects some talent into it. So even if they get better, right, you have more competition in the league, which I think is more incentive. But if you're the teams, because I don't get the number 1 overall pick, right? Why would I start tanking? I get the guarantee. When's the last time the projected number 1 team got the first pick?
I would have to go back. Probably Cleveland.
You know what I mean?
Something like that.
Right. And they went back. I mean, for a team to win, you're basically getting lucky and winning back to back, right? That's how the Magic got Shaq and Penny, or technically Chris Webber. But point being, right? You just happened to win it, and you don't even deserve to be in the conversation of being that. I mean, New Orleans was bad. They weren't that bad.
No.
You know what I mean? Well, they should have the first overall pick. I think that's stupid.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Totally
I think it defines like an era where it's just like it doesn't make any sense. Like there's no logic reasoning why the Pelicans should have the first.
I think the only thing is for basketball purposes, I think you kind of go into it like if you're that bad, one guy like from college doesn't really make that much of a difference to you. And it's weird to think that like basketball is a star-driven league.
For sure.
But I think like if you put Zion on the Knicks, they win 12 games. What are they gonna win like? 22 next year because him by himself is not beating like LeBron James and all these really good teams and stuff. So like I think like if you give the number 1 pick to the Pelicans who have AD, now you potentially get Zion there. You got Drew Holiday. Like now you're actually like a contender almost, and so maybe that's why they do it. So like you actually build more contenders quicker. But long term, like I don't really get it. I wish more.
I understand from a business perspective. If you're the Knicks, right? Yeah. You have never won anything. Ever. Let's be real. So, but people talk about you anyway. And if you're the Knicks, though, and you're like, okay, we have all this cap space, and we're going to get Zion. If nothing else, even if everybody went, no, you're the Knicks, we hate you, I don't want to go play for you, right? You can still sell to your fan base, we have Zion, right? From a business perspective, the number 1 pick means something in any sport, right? The Cardinals are going to be able to sell hope to their fans because we have Kyler Murray, right? He can't see over offensive linemen, but that's fine.
Hey, Bruce can't either.
Right, exactly. He just throws it blind. But point being is that with Zion going to New York, it'd be like, okay, right, I can sell some sort of hope. Even though no one believes me, I can sell it and the diehard fans will still buy it, right? Like, you know, the Lions will try to spin it. Oh, we got this guy. And when we start out 1-4, I'm going to throw a brick through a wall. It's just what's going to happen. So, you know what I mean? It's selling that hope of the franchise.
We will not buy vineyard vines.
Yeah, we will not. Oh. Dang it. You know, Kyle will. But
Kyle will. We won't.
But I don't know. For me, it's just one of those things where you look at it and you go, if I'm now the Knicks, I go, well, that was a waste because, you know, I understand trading off whatever decent players you have to clear cap space for superstars. I understand putting out the worst possible product in hopes of turning it around the year after like they're doing, right? Yeah. Totally cool with that. But if I don't got the guaranteed first overall pick along with that, what the hell are you doing? Yeah. Like, you can still suck and trade off all your talent and be, like, look like professional athletes. They don't even look like professional athletes out there. You know what I mean?
Like me and Kyle are playing.
Yeah, exactly. Basically, right? Like, okay, well, you know, I mean, if you're playing, like, say, the Pistons, yeah, I can guard Bruce Brown, but you can't guard anybody else, but Bruce Brown should be on the Knicks, too. Yeah. You know what I mean? He's that kind of, it's just frustrates the hell out of me, is really what it does.
Kyle, do you have any thoughts on the draft lottery?
I want to ask you this. If you're the Pelicans GM, do you take Zion?
Do I take Zion?
Is he your favorite prospect? Because some people are like, I don't want Zion. So I've seen that. I've seen that where it's like, you know,
I like someone better, but the Pelicans themselves.
He can't shoot, right? Really can't shoot. He's not a good free throw shooter, right? He's athletic. He's an athletic freak, right? But I mean, from a basketball perspective, is he truly the best basketball player? Like, if you're gonna lose AD anyway. Let's be real. You're losing AD after this year. Yeah. Before that. Mm-hmm. But so is he the guy I'm building around?
So I believe he is the best in this draft, but if you think about it, if you're the Pelicans, you could be like, okay, these teams, I will give you the first pick, and you go to Anthony Davis, and you go, who do you want to play with to stay on this team?
Yeah.
And that's probably the only thing.
That's a hot take, actually, because I never thought about it like that. That's a good call, for sure.
If you want to keep Anthony Davis or get a dude who's good,
right?
You'd be like, okay, we'll give you.
I was actually not wrong.
I'd rather do that. I would definitely trade the first overall pick for the rights to Zion over and then keep. If I go to the Lakers and say, all right, if we can get LeBron, will you stay? Right? Because theoretically, the Lakers have no incentive to hold LeBron.
No.
Right now. Like, none. And LeBron has, don't go to New Orleans because that's just dumb. But point being, right, like, if you're a guy like Klay Thompson or Kyrie Irving, right, like, who do you want to play with?
Yeah.
Who's the superstar?
Yeah.
We will give them the first overall pick for it.
Yeah.
Just tell us you'll stay and sign. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I don't necessarily think that's a bad idea. But, Mike, same question to you. Without that being on the table, because that's a pipe dream for all Pelican fans, if they're the four of them, yeah, I'm sorry. Your name is the Pelicans. That alone, you were starting off bad. Do you take Zion? Is that like if you're Dave Griffin now, you're like, yep, I want Zion. Everyone says he's the consensus, or is it somebody else? Because I'm guessing you're not taking Zion.
No, well, in that case, I think if you're losing AD, you take Zion. Mm-hmm. But if he stays or you can re-sign him, I like Jean Morant better.
Yeah.
And I only say this because he's a pure point guard, so you're going to run everything through him, getting the ball to AD every single time. Mm-hmm. And with someone like a True Holiday also at shooting guard with you, then you have a shooter out there, you have your big guy down low, and you have your pure playmaking point guard. Right. That's a very good combination of guys there. Mm-hmm. I don't think Zion would really fit into like what they do with Anthony Davis, because the paint would just get super crowded. Right. Because Anthony Davis can't go outside of 6 feet and do anything, and Zion can't do anything out of 6 feet either. Yeah. So
that's the thing though, right? If you're David, and that's a perfect point, right? Is that okay? We take Zion, we still have AD, right? We're not willing to give him out without a fight, yada yada yada, right? Whatever. They take Zion, okay. You're pulling a card out of the Pistons playbook. All right, everyone else is going to shooters and going for the 3-ball. No, we're going to keep it inside and clog the paint because that seems to work for everybody else, right? Yes. And once again, I don't know if Zion. I honestly don't know if Zion will ever develop a shot, like a true shot. Well, could he be Ben Wallace type player where he's a defensive MVP, right? And he is dominant on the defensive side. He can rebound. He outjumps everybody. He's sending shots through the roof. Sure, no doubt about it, right? But I'm not building my franchise around a guy who, in
a shooter's league can't shoot.
Right, exactly. In a shooter's league where defense no longer comes at a premium, do I want to build my team around a guy who can't shoot outside of a small square? You know what I mean? It's not like he's got some sweet post moves that he can pull out. It's not like he's got a fadeaway like Rashid did or something like that. He doesn't have any of that. No. And he can't shoot free throws. No. He's like a worse Shaq.
Yeah. Then you get into the league and you realize that instead of in college, every single guy's like Giannis or LeBron and Kawhi.
Yeah, exactly. Giannis would destroy Zion.
Yeah.
It wouldn't even be funny. No. Right?
Everyone's bigger than you when you get to the NBA.
And everyone's athletic. Yeah. Everyone's the best of the best. You're not playing against the white kid who went to Providence. Okay. You're playing against the best of the best. Even can you imagine him going against LeBron? It would be a disaster, right? Yeah, going against Kawhi would be a disaster. Kawhi is a defensive whiz, right? Mm-hmm. Is he going to run over Andre Drummond? Yeah, that's not hard. But anybody
we have point guards that can do that.
Yeah, exactly. Anybody of any sort of relevance who's going to make an impact in this league, I don't see Zion in that mix, right? Especially right now, just with the skill, athletic freak, no doubt, but athleticism is only going to get you so far. Even the great LeBron James, who came in as the genetic freak that he is, developed a shot at some point. You know what I mean? I don't know.
It only took 4 years.
Yeah,
but he got one.
He got one, and that's all that matters. He got a ring, so it's all that matters. I don't know. It's just, for me, if you're the Pelicans, you're the Pelicans. That's what it is. I'm sorry. All right, enough about my high horse on the lottery. I want to talk about something that makes me extremely excited. So, Kyle, you can take a break for a second. AEW, All Elite Wrestling, officially on TNT. I am so excited. I was so pumped for the announcement. Mike, I have a lot of like really strong thoughts about this. So
you have strong thoughts.
Dude, I'm so excited. I'm so pumped for this whole thing. But
strong thoughts.
How big is this TV deal for professional wrestling as a whole?
It's absolutely huge.
No, it's not huge. It's huge. It is ginormous.
Ginormous.
Oh my gosh.
Gargantuan.
Put some excitement in your voice because listen, you weren't really a fan. You're a little younger than I am, so you weren't really around for like heavy Monday Night War stuff, right? I was right. I was like 4, 5, 6, 7 when that time was happening, right? I cannot tell you the potential of what this could be and how awesome it could be. You know what I mean?
Especially when like you go on, every wrestler in the world is hyping this up as like the changing of like the
and they're excited about it.
Like Matt Riddle's like, dude, like this is stuff you're never gonna see before,
right?
Like and stuff like it's like insane.
It's not even about the fact that All Elite's gonna be different because the Bucks and Kenny's. It's not about that. It's about the money. It's about the fact that we're finally gonna have a company that is gonna be on mainstream cable television, right? Prime time. Going not necessarily time slot for time slot, right? Not Monday versus Monday, but going for, rating versus rating, product versus product, for the first time, really giving you a true viable alternative to WWE on a major scale. Mm-hmm. On a major scale, even you could say TNA with Spike that hit 300,000 homes. This is TNT. It's part of the Turner Network. Okay, it's a completely different entity as a whole. You know what I mean? I think some people who are the younger fans who may have only watched WWE, your mind's about to be blown. Mm-hmm. Even if the product sucks. Like, Double or Nothing could suck, and people are still going to watch it, right? Yeah. AEW could suck for 3 years, and people go, oh, okay, You know what I mean? It's absolutely crazy. And I'm going to ask you this, Mike, because of what the potential is, but do you think, because some of the wrestlers are saying this, is it officially a new war? Is it a war? Or do you have to see it first?
I think it's one of those see it to believe it kind of things.
Okay.
I think WWE, though, is setting up to start a war almost. Mm-hmm. They're kind of, I think this whole, and at first I didn't get the whole shakeup thing or whatever.
Right.
But I think this whole shakeup thing is to prepare people for, like, Raw is the big main brand.
Right.
And it's going to be Raw versus Dynamite is...
Right, yeah.
I think it's technically Tuesday Night Dynamite, but we don't 100% know yet. Yeah. But I think it's going to be almost Raw versus Dynamite, and they're going to start heavy powering everyone they can. They're going to have AJ, Seth, Roman, everybody back on Raw, and they're going to powerhouse Raw to make it as best as it can be. Mm-hmm. And then SmackDown's going to be definitely the B show because...
Yeah, but the problem
they have to win.
And the problem though is that with WWE is they got to give SmackDown some talent because they're moving to Fox now, right?
Yeah.
So that show can't suck.
Yeah.
That TV deal is reliant. That's why WWE, I believe, is so stuck in the way that they're doing things because the money's still flowing. They just got the biggest TV deal they've ever gotten, and the product, in a lot of people's mind, has never been worse since probably the mid-90s. So. With all that being said, right? Like even Jericho came out. It's like it's going to be a war. It's inevitable, right? It's going to happen, right? I'm interested. I'm kind of like you though, where I'm like, I got to see it. Yeah. I'm really interested to see the production value as a whole. Like Double or Nothing, when we watch that, that'll be fun because we'll kind of get a preview.
Is it going to look like the G1 did, or is it going to look like how like NWA does?
Right.
In like production value.
Yeah, because I think that's different, right? Like I don't want it to look like Ring of Honor does.
No, but will it look like All In did?
Right.
I guess it's like the real question. Because All In looked super nice. Yes, like Stadium, everything looked like very nice.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? It needs to look big. Yeah. Right? And it needs to look like it's got the production value. I know that doesn't mean a lot to everybody. It's about the product, but it's not though. It's really, really not. If you look back in history, right? Let's take a history lesson with Rob for a second. WCW did not have the greatest production value, okay? But they had one thing that went really well for them, the NWO, okay? They had one thing. That's all it was. Raw had better production value. It had more pyro, had more lights, technically had more talent, if you really want to be honest with yourselves. But WCW won. Why? Because it was different. It changed the way people thought about wrestling for a specific period of time. It was something that you never knew what was going to happen, so you had to watch, okay? It's the same thing here. Okay, the production value matters. The quality of the content matters. And if nothing else, if AEW is going to be a success, all it needs to do is challenge WWE. If you want to see a better product, right, you need to hope and pray AEW is legit.
Yes.
Absolutely need to pray it's legit.
I think, and we've been saying it literally ever since AEW has formed on this podcast, that I think it was like the first episode, we talked about how people tune into Raw and all they do is complain, and that's what they want. It's just complain.
Right.
But it means you're still watching it.
Exactly.
And eventually you're going to get to the point where people are going to be just praising AEW.
Yep.
I'm done with this.
Yep.
I can spend my Monday nights doing something else, and I can spend Tuesday nights watching wrestling now.
Exactly.
And
absolutely.
You don't want that because then Raw ratings will drop super low. If AEW ever passes on in ratings,
oh my gosh,
it will outside the first month.
Yeah,
maybe.
give it a year. Like the first year, there's gonna be a love phase, right? Where it's new. I gotta see what's going on, right?
Yeah.
But after that, and you gotta see the development. You know what I mean? Right.
Stuff,
because you're only gonna get so far with the Young Bucks are on mainstream television, right? Yeah. You can only get so far with that. There still has to be stories. There still has to be the talent. You know what I mean?
I think AEW will feel it too because you never had the Bucks, Cody. Well, Cody was in WWE, but like Kenny, they've never been on a show that's aired weekly, and you almost have to be on every single week.
Yep.
Like
especially early.
Yeah, when the Bucks are in New Japan and they're on once every month, it's like, wow, the Bucks are gonna be here this day, this month. Like it's crazy. Now it's like, same five guys are gonna be there.
Or even when they're in Ring of Honor, right? Okay, Bucks versus Briscoes this week, and then you don't see them for 3 weeks of TV because they do it all in one big taping. You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, it's a different platform. Right? It's different than these guys have seen. It's going to be 2 hours, right? They're bringing in the best of the best talent, right? Mm-hmm. So the ability to develop these storylines, ability to keep people invested outside of just, it's Kenny Omega versus Chris Jericho. You're only going to get so far with that. So they have some progress they need to do. But the fact that they are on this network shows that there is so much belief in what they're going to do here. It's extremely exciting. Mm-hmm. And if you're a wrestling fan, even if you don't like any of these guys, you have no idea what the hell I'm talking about. You should be happy that it exists. Because the people you do know, the Roman Reigns, the Seth Rollins, the Charlotte Flairs, the Becky Lynches of the world, you want them competing against other people. Mm-hmm. Even if they're not as good. Because TNA is not competition. Ring of Honor is not competition. New Japan is not competition.
New Japan should be competition.
They should be, but they're not. And they're never going to be. Really. They're never really going to be. Yeah. They're never going to. They're never going to make an imprint in the United States. AEW is. Or at least we hope it will be, right? And they've got everything so far. Check, 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 check. It's extremely exciting. I'm so pumped about it. I was really excited to come talk about it because I was like, now that I've seen it, I've been calling for it for so long. Like I need to know where they're going to be on TV. Because if you're going to tell me you're on Paramount Network, I'm going to flip my shit because that's not what I want. You know what I mean?
That's crazy because NBA owns TNT too.
Yeah.
So they're taking out NBA on Tuesday nights. That's usually a big NBA night.
Prime slots.
And putting it on for AEW.
Can't freaking wait. All right. Last topic. Kyle, welcome back. All right. We're going to go. I want to talk some Matt Patricia stuff now. He was on Good Morning Football last week, right? They kind of interviewed him, and the thing that kind of really noticed was they kind of hit on some topics that us as Detroit fans, notice pretty frequently. Lions get nothing, right? The Lions make a draft pick. We're talking about the previous draft pick, and then we skip right over that guy and go to the next guy, right? The Lions sign a free agent. That's cool. They overpaid, I'm sure. Whatever they do, right? Anything that we perceive as positive immediately is, on the wayside. And they brought that up, right? They're saying Bears are getting love, Minnesota's getting love, Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers is going to come back, he's going to be the greatest thing ever, and he's going to cure cancer. And then you've got the Lions. And we're just there. And when you watch this, and I encourage people, it's probably on NFL.com, just look it up. If you watch this, the first thing Matt Patricia does is he smiles, and he snickers, and he goes, good. Talk about them. They're awesome. Every single one of them. They're really, really great. Really hope we can compete with them. And as a Lions fan, as a traditional self-admitted homer that I am, I loved it. Mm-hmm. I absolutely loved it because it was like, oh my gosh, like he's got something. If nothing else, he's got motivation. There's something within him that makes him just go like, oh yeah, you talk about those guys. Mm-hmm. We're gonna be over here doing our thing. Mike, I want to start with you. When you hear those comments and you see his response about him just kind of being like, oh yeah, you go for it. You talk about them. You do you. Does that do anything for you like it did for me? Because it kind of gave me like that, like, yeah, that's right. Like kind of like one of those things like you guys have no idea what we're about to do. You know what I mean?
Yes and no. I mean, yes to your extent where like as a homeboy, it's like yes, I love that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, when you look at the Lions retrospectively to everything else, we are the worst organization in the NFL.
Yeah.
The Browns are kind of there, but pretty much a long shot.
I would say the Browns are probably worse.
But it's it's either one. It's an argument of which one's worse. Mm-hmm. And so not giving us much love is like.
Right.
It's whatever.
It doesn't shock me, but what it is that it's one of those things where I just wish that there was at least some. It's because Detroit's not sexy, right? There's nothing about us that makes us fun, right? I mean, we can look at it and we go, okay, what about Detroit, right? Even when we had Calvin Johnson, nobody talked about him. No. You know what I mean? Really, unless he had like this breakout game, right? We go 11-5. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? We do things. We have the best defense in the league. It doesn't matter, right?
You got winning.
No, for sure, right? But and then you see teams like Cleveland and New York and teams like that, which are dumpster fires, right? The Jets have sucked for years, right? They've never truly won anything, really. You know what I mean? I get it. They won a playoff game. I understand. But point being is that you've got teams like that also where it's like they're just as big a dumpsters, but they seem to get more love than Detroit too, right? So for me, I would just like it. I just like some sort of coverage, That's why I want them on Hard Knocks. Is because I feel like it'd be the first time where like you could like see some stuff within the inner workings of the organization. You know what I mean? It's such a vault in Allen Park.
I think I'm more of I like the keep quiet kind of side.
I do, but as a fan, from a fan saying I want to win, I don't care about Hard Knocks. But as a fan of just I want to see my team, and I want some positivity about my team for once in this freaking world. I want to be able to see them be on TV and be like, oh, okay, that's cool. I see why they're doing that.
I mean,
you know what I mean?
I watch a lot of FS1s and all that stuff,
right.
And I'm totally okay with them never talking about the Lions because the second they ever bring up the Lions, it's always bad. It's
always bad.
And I'd rather have nothing than bad.
Yeah, every highlight is against us. You know what I mean? It's just a disaster. Kyle, same question to you. Do you think they should be talked about more? Is it strictly they need to start winning? Because I'm going to be honest with you. I think if they win the division this year, right? Say they win the division, I still don't think they're going to talk about us. No. You know what I mean? I it's like we win a Super Bowl. I still don't think they talk about it. I think it'd be like the most lowest rated, lowest viewed Super Bowl ever.
Depends who we play against.
Yeah.
Because they just want everyone to beat us.
I guess. Yeah, right.
Like if it's a Patriots, they'd be... Actually, I don't know.
Yeah, right.
Patriots, I don't know. That'd be interesting.
Brady's 55. But...
but 43. Going off what Michael said, from an outside perspective, I don't know why anybody would want to talk about the Lions. Like New York, they suck, but they're like it's New York.
It's a funny suck.
It's a
you trade Odell. You kidding me?
Yeah. Or the Jets, right? The Jets fire everybody after the draft.
Adam Gase's weird eyes.
Yeah, I guess
he's cracked out. But New York, it's a big market. They do stupid things. We laugh at them,
right?
Because they're a joke. And Lions, whatever, the Lions. When are we talking about the Tennessee Titans?
Why are you slamming your hand? It's okay. It's not that emotional. It's okay.
Oh, Rob, just wait.
Jeez, apparently. Good.
Okay.
But no, I mean, I agree with you to a certain extent, right? We're boring, right? I understand it, but it's but here's the thing, though. I look at a team I look at Dallas. Dallas is another example, right? I get it. They're America's team. They have not won anything since '96. Okay, I was 2 for reference. Okay, you guys weren't even alive then. So. But you know what I mean? It's always these teams. We're never the team. Even it's one. They could do anything. They could sign Tom Brady tomorrow, and they're gonna finish 8-8. You know what I mean? It's just the bias and I guess not even bias is the word, but it's everyone's got eternal optimism about every other team. It seems except ours. The Browns this year are going 16-0. If you believe anything that they've done in the offseason, right? They're gonna win every game.
Oh.
Pittsburgh's gonna lose every game because they lost Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown. You know what I mean? So, but that's my point, though, right? What actually happens, right? The Rams were supposed to go 16-0 last year, win the Super Bowl, and they couldn't even put up a touchdown, right? Jared Goff is supposed to be the next Messiah. Whatever, you know what I mean? It's just these things where there's so much positivity around other teams, and everyone's like, wow, look at what they're doing. And the Lions go out and make actual moves that, make sense, where if the Jets were to have signed Trey Flowers, wow, Trey Flowers go to the Jets, so that defense is going to be top 10, going to be top 5 defense next year. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Same thing with C.J. Mosley, right? They signed C.J. Mosley to do a bunch of money, where the Lions don't get credit for saying, all right, we're going to pay Trey Flowers, but we didn't trade for Frank Clark or Dee Ford and give up picks in addition to getting Trey Flowers and paying him all the money. So it's those kinds of things where you go, these guys are getting all these praise for doing all these shrewd moves, but the Lions are doing that the same way. And I get it. It's got to be seen on the field. But none of these teams have been on the field yet. So it just boggles my mind a little bit where, you just go, all right, oh, Tony Romo took a crap. Wow, Cowboys won the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Dak Prescott's going to get paid $35 million to hand the ball off to Zeke 35 times a game. It's not that hard. I could do that. You know what I mean? It's not,
I wish I could do that.
Right, no kidding, right? It's the easiest job in the freaking world, Shoot, it's just, those are the kinds of things where I just wish that Lions would get just a little bit more love. Hopefully, when we win a playoff game, pray to God, maybe we'll get some love. I don't know. It's just something that eats away at me. But all right, that's gonna be it for episode 25 of the I'm Always Right Sports podcast. Tune in every week, Monday 7 a.m. Well, YouTube obviously goes live every Wednesday at 7 a.m. For the NBA insider Kyle Budznowski, for the Merc Zone. Yep. I am the Mouth of Michigan, Ron Medeka, and we will see you guys as always next time.